Hi, I'm Mike. I'm an American who's been living in Europe for about 3 years, and most people would assume that moving away would make me resent the US. It's actually made me appreciate it more. This month, I was guided to talk about community, and by the end of this video, you'll know if you're part of the one I'm building. Before we moved, I leaned liberal, but in the classic sense. Free markets, limited government, individual rights, and a rule of law. And somewhere along the way, without understanding why, those beliefs had drifted towards trusting systems over self. Here's what I understand now. This idea that being American is something to apologize for is actually pretty new. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, pledging allegiance with my hand on my heart, in a country that rewarded the people willing to try. It's the same thing that made people cross oceans to get here. And freedom was never about doing nothing. It was about doing the hard things. Because hard work paired with your inner vision is how a dream becomes real. No country is perfect, and neither is any system. Every nation has its shadow and its light. Living in fear, shame, or the past has never moved anyone forward. If you're depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you're at peace, you are living in the present. So, living over here, I realized just how empowering true capitalism really is for everyone, rich or poor, and not only financially, the human version. The freedom to own your own energy, to build community around what we share, to speak your truth, and to give. Watch how the universe gives back in ways you couldn't imagine. I used to think I knew why America felt broken. It turns out it's broken because we gave away our sovereignty to the noise. What changed how I saw it all wasn't politics. It started with a new environment. A beautiful place with real food, and a kind of solitude I had never really sat in before. And for the first time, I had to ask myself who I even am when nobody is telling me who to be. I started working out, paid attention to what I eat. I'd lost 30 pounds, and it sparked something inside of me. But the real discovery was meditation. It cracked open a world I didn't know existed, and showed me just how powerful the mind and body really are. I just wanted to understand myself a little better. But what I found instead was something much bigger. Spirituality. And I was an atheist, certain there was nothing beyond this. But the more I sat in silence, the more I realized most of my opinions were never even mine. I'd been programmed, inheriting them from the media, the people around me, movies, music, all this outside noise. I'd carried a lot of victimhood too, probably inherited by my dad, until I understood that I am in control of the steering wheel. We're all creators, living together, with God in every one of us. The literal light you see deep in meditation, and what you feel there is love, peace, and sovereignty. The shadow is just the negativity we move through to find the balance in between. And that's how you build heaven here on earth, in your own mind, in your own reality. And when you find that balance through love, the world stops looking the way the media swears it does. Who the fuck is the media anyway? I stopped asking which side I was on and started asking what I actually believe. And that's what sovereignty actually means. I get my news internally now. I stopped consuming for a while, and I built a relationship with my higher self, the best version of me. That one question changed everything. I fell in love with philosophy. By 40, I had a lot of life behind me. So many failures, and every one of them teaching me who I really was. Americans are being attacked through their food, their health, their films, music, corporations, consumerism. But we have the power to change that by being disciplined enough to not consume their poison. or listen to their propaganda. We are the writers. We are the creators, the filmmakers, the woodworkers. We are whatever you love. Go out there and be who you were always meant to become. Stop defaulting to "I can't" and start saying "I can." When I turned 18, I told myself there's nothing I can't do. And I offer that to you. Life isn't always easy, but I think it's meant to be. Once you line up with your soul's purpose, sit quietly for an hour a day. It gets clearer with every step you take. All of this taught me to appreciate individual responsibility. There's that line by Carl Jung that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. Making the unconscious conscious is the whole game of life. That's the real work. And once I started doing that, I noticed something. That every great thinker I actually trusted was pointing in the same direction. Jung wanted us to transform the self. Plato to cultivate virtue. The Stoics to govern their own minds. Lao Tzu to align with nature. All of them pointed inward. None of them said to fix the world first. They said to control the one thing that you can actually control, which is yourself. And then there are ideologies that point the other way, outward, at the system, saying that if you just rearrange the outside world, the inside would follow. But I think that's backwards. You don't become sovereign by redesigning the system. You become sovereign first, and then you build something worth living in. That's exactly why a free society works. It runs on the individual. And ironically, it took me leaving America to finally understand why so many people wanted to go there in the first place. Which is what this month's word is really about: community. To me, it was never about thinking the same way. It's about people committing to becoming better versions of themselves, who question the status quo, create more than they consume, and those who want to leave the world a little better than they found it. My community is the patriots of individuality, the pursuers of happiness, the creators, the innovators, the empaths, the ones following their life's purpose in order to make the world a more peaceful place through individual acts of self-growth. I am spiritual. I am atheist. I am Christian. I'm an alien. I am whatever you are because we are one. That's the community I'm trying to build.